You're on the podcast with Dino and Ashley. I'm in so much pain this morning. All I can do is laugh. If I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. All right.
I was waiting to see where you were going to go. Oh, Dino hurt his back. It's just been a little too much the last few months.
I am old. I'm officially old. And it's making me so cranky. I'm not going to.
I know. It's like, are you sure we should record a podcast right now? I don't know. This is the best time.
I snapped at Ash. I snapped at Quinn. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, everyone.
We forgive you.
All right.
I can't imagine.
Just know it's not me. All right. It's the pain. It's the pain. That's a great excuse, at least, for me to snap at people.
Yes. Well, we are nearing I was going to say the Christmas season, but we haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet.
Don't rush it. All right. Don't take it. Actually, we were just talking yesterday about what is Ashley's favorite holiday.
It is Thanksgiving.
Why would that be?
Because it revolves around food. No, it's just
You're just a glutton.
I am.
I think of all the 7 sins.
You know what it is? It's just like, I like it even more than my birthday, because your birthday comes with like a lot of pressure that you have to be excited, and are you going to be let down?
You have to be excited. What is that supposed to mean? I do a very good job on birthdays, all right?
No. But I like Thanksgiving because it's usually families coming together. There's nothing like you're celebrating. You're not celebrating anybody, so you don't have to like put on a show or like do anything. And
it's
you
very
just
non-obligatory.
Yes. It's the relaxing holiday. And in this season, right now, coming off of 2 months straight of nonstop mental war, physical war, just like this battle that we've been in, and our bodies are exhausted. I just am very, very excited.
Yeah, we were talking with one of our friends, and she was like, I just want one day since like from the hurricane till now, I've been looking for one day where I get to sit around and do nothing and watch TV all day long. And I was like, man, does that ever sound incredible? Just one day.
And it's hard because we are starting to wrap up the inn right now. But then when we come home, like our house on the inside is fine. But then you look outside and we're like, oh, shoot. We still have our house to do. We haven't done anything here at all. We lost a fence and the garage and the tree and the landscape, like all this stuff outside. So it's kind of like we haven't gotten to that point yet where we can just sit, because it's hard to.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
That's what we keep saying ourselves. We'll get to it.
But I am looking forward to the Christmas season and just, being done with everything and relaxing, and probably take a social media break and just like kind of come down from the last few months. So, but it is weird thinking about Christmas and even Thanksgiving. I just am not quite there yet in my head. I don't know. We skipped through some holidays, we skipped through some months, it feels like. So I'm just like confused on the time. It just feels odd to me that we should
do a real quick hot take on the importance of just taking breaks, because I think that was, you and I went through a season for a minute there too, where you read a couple books on the importance of just taking time and
I read a book called
The Ruthless Elimination of
Hurry.
There you go.
Now, here's the thing with books. I don't know if we've talked about this yet. I know I've talked about it in my From Ashley, but I'm always hesitant to recommend books because I love reading books, and I don't read books that are about like, what is that? Nonfiction? No, fiction. Yeah, I don't read fiction. I only read books that like are going to help me, like they're business books or they're spiritual books or like growth books or whatever. But recommending books is always a little bit sketch because I don't always agree with 100% every author writes. No. And the only thing I can 100% recommend is the Bible. So with books, yes, we will say them, but just know you have to take them with a grain of salt, and that we probably don't align with 100% of what they're saying.
I definitively recall reading aspects of this.
That's why I said that.
You're like,
You just want to say that. No, but that book was really, really good. And it just reminded us of the Sabbath and how important it is to rest, and that Jesus rested, and that, I read so many books since then too that kind of go into the same thing, but about hurrying and rushing and worrying about tomorrow, and how we're actually taking away what God's like trying to do in our lives by having that mentality. We need to be able to pause rest and trust him that he is going to take the lead on things and we can step back.
Yeah. I think all that to say, we're not recommending that anybody run at the pace we've ran at for the last like 2 months or whatever. Us joking around about how we haven't had a day to just kind of sit and relax. That's not by design. That's not the way you and I want to go. We like to go hard and we like to encourage other people to go hard and like push, but that doesn't mean that you don't rest. You know, you need opportunities to sit and recharge your batteries and things like that. It's really important. It's also important to make sure that you're obviously not going really hard after the things that are in front of you, just or at the sacrifice of other things, your family, your marriage, you know, your spiritual walk, right? And I think a lot of times, I mean, you and I can get a little overly focused on certain aspects of the things we want to accomplish. Yeah. You know, just because it's a goal that we've set in front of us and we're like, heads down, we have to finish this goal. We have to do this thing. And instead of trying to take a step back and saying, hey, why are we trying to do this? Yeah. Why is this so important? Can this take a beat so that we can ensure that we're correctly aligned between you and I? Because what's the good of going and accomplishing something, but the whole time you and I are yelling and screaming at each other, and the kids are the house is in disarray, and the families, you know, not in order. What's the most
important thing here?
Yeah.
And I think that has been one of my biggest battles over the years since I got back into the workplace, I guess, you know, or even just taking the focus fully off of the kids in the home and having other things I've been doing, is that it's like, okay, God made me this way. I know he made me to be able to work hard, to grind and to do it again and pivot and all these things and go. But at the same time, what part of that is my flesh jumping in there? Striving. Yeah. And then at what point is it okay, yes, I made these things. I made you this way, but also there's a balance there that needs to be had.
You said do it in your flesh. Can you describe what that means and what would the opposite be? Well,
my flesh means that I want to take control. I'm now forgetting that these are God's gifts that he's given me, or I'm basically eliminating him from the scenario. And it's well, I have to do this and I have to get to this point and I have to finish this. And I'm not even considering what God wants me to be doing. And it's just what my own plan is. Yeah. I set my own pace, my own plan, and like you said, the striving. I think I've come a long way from this. I don't think I do this as much anymore because I'm so aware of it and I don't want to live like that. And I think I've seen the negative aspects of it.
You have a predisposition to it, but it's not.
And then I have to be Lord, okay. Yeah. Where do you want me to do? What, even with the hurricanes and going through Helene and then going through Milton right afterwards. After Helene, it was this go. As I was writing about this the other day, I was thinking, I even think that there was a slight disobedience in that, that there was, for me at least, that God was trying to show me that he is in control and he has not left me, and he's not left me to do it alone. And I think I was feeling I got to get it back up and running, and we got to go this and we got to run at this pace, and the kids can eat later and we can see them later, they'll always be tomorrow.
You don't need a marriage. We don't need to talk about anything. Yes. Just keep going.
And even in that, and so recently, I feel there was just this opportunity, because I saw the shift after with Milton, and it took fatigue and exhaustion and zero energy to be in that spot. But I felt there was a shift in just my cadence and my looking up to him instead of looking at my own pace and my own striving and how I knew I could get it done.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, obviously.
Love it.
If there's anything else that you want to put a bow on with that, no?
No. So we thought it would be fun. This topic has kind of come up a few times with us, and we're you know what, we should talk about this. Impressing your spouse.
How did this come up?
So it came up, well, it comes up all the time, but there was something, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I was doing something. Do you remember exactly what it was? Because I'm going to butcher it, but it was something we were in the bathroom and I dressed a certain way for you, and you're I love that you
either that or the one that more recently that you've been doing that I really like is that you put perfume in a specific spot on your neck that I like. Okay. It's just something, that I like that.
Yeah.
you know, and you know that you could wear nothing, or you could wear it somewhere else, but you know that there's a certain spot on you that if I'm like up in your neck and I can smell you, it just is like, I very much enjoy that scenario.
So then we started talking about that a little bit, you know, like I was like, I want to wear stuff and I want to do stuff that you like. And I think this is an interesting topic because I think that the world says the totally opposite message. It is saying that
Yes.
forget what anybody else thinks. You should do what you want, what makes you happy, and it's all about you. We're all so self-absorbed, self-focused.
Yeah. If your spouse likes something, forget them.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't like it, they can shove it.
Yes.
Right?
Shove it.
Yeah. Podcast ended. There you go.
But we actually have a different mindset on that. And I am definitely my own person and I have my own thoughts and my own style.
Of course. Let's caveat away by all means. No, I mean, like,
to know.
I agree. And I'm not saying let's leave in a bad way a caveat, but like, of course you should not completely lose yourself for who your spouse is. You should not like give everything.
Well, I think that there's two sides to it because even in the last few months, my style has kind of changed. Yeah. I really wanted to cut my hair. And once I cut my hair too, it like gave me this different energy. I'm in my French era, you know, a European girl. And
don't hate it.
I know. But even with like the clothes and stuff and my style, I'm finding as I'm almost to my 40s, just this different style of who I am and getting comfortable and confident. And even though it's not 100% everything that you would have picked out probably in what you would want on me, you find that sexy and because there's a confidence there.
Absolutely.
You know, so there's like two sides to it also.
Of course.
Not just like, what should I wear? What
I have to do what Dino would want. Like, no, it's like you're your own person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, there's certain things that I kind of like, and you're like, oh, that is an important aspect, you know?
Yes.
So there's a balance, obviously, is what we're trying to say here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the confidence also comes from just your stability and your being grounded in your faith and in the Lord so that you can know who you are, grounded in your identity and your purpose, know who you are. That comes with, after that, dressing and just a confidence and how you hold your head up high.
Yep.
Because you're not grounded in the world. So you're not, you know, wavering back and forth with everything.
Yeah.
So that confidence comes there, which is then attractive to the other person. But this whole thing is talking about, this whole podcast is talking about doing things that are specifically to impress your spouse. And so, you know, we'll give some examples of some things. Like,
what have I been doing lately that I know you and I were actually talking about the other day? There's something that I was trying to do that I knew. Oh, you swapped out a bunch of my shirts, my clothes and things like that you liked. Like,
we elevated Dino's wardrobe a little bit. And
I have a desire to do that. Like, I don't want to walk around looking completely, because Ash looks very nice when you're walking around.
I think anybody that has seen you online knows what we're talking about. And we've even had a podcast where Zach had to, like, Dino's nipple was hanging out and he was like trying to cover his nipple. I was like, babe, maybe, I think we talked about this already. I was like, maybe it's time to not wear the stringer tank tops.
When you come back, it's time.
It is time to not wear the... Oh, shoot.
Shoot.
I'm excited. To not wear
stringers.
The stringers all the time. Now, to the gym.
All the time.
Gym is fine.
I love your tone that you have. It's like this. I'm asking you, but let's really be honest here.
If
you're going to stop doing
this, we're probably not going to have sex anymore.
No. Exactly. There
I would never do that.
consequences to your actions. No.
That's not good to do. We don't withhold
that. We don't do tit for tat. We don't withhold things from one another.
But we can joke about it because it's funny. Because we know we would never do that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so even just a simple thing like that, like, hey, maybe we don't. What do you think about not doing that? And I got him some really cool Buck Mason like tank tops. So you can still be a tank top guy, but they look more sophisticated. Your age and your nips don't show. What do you think about that? You're like these are our biggest problems.
Hey, Dino, I have an idea. Maybe wear shirts where your nipples don't hang out. And you don't look like you're 20. Hey, this is an idea. like a child.
Oh, but it's you have to be open to receiving that. And it's
I'm
out of
open.
love. It's
I
not
get
like,
it.
why are you wearing tank tops? I hate your nipples.
Exactly.
Because I like your
It's
nipples.
in the tone. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
But I like them for me, not for
everybody.
stuff like that. I even think too, you do something too that I don't know if this is, well, I know it's intentional, but I'll get dressed and then Dino will kind of like match me.
I don't do this. You do this. All right.
He totally does.
No, I do. I try and
I think it's cute.
I like to kind of be of similar.
Always ready for family photos.
Well, it's like, oh, Ash is wearing all black. All right, well, I know I'm not going to look real stupid if I have a few black things on,
Yeah.
you know? Or like, oh, okay, she's wearing a jean jacket-ish type thing. It's like, okay, I want a similar vibe to that. And then I know I'm not going to look ridiculous, you know?
No, I like it. It's sweet and it's cute and I like matching.
And I also know, I mean, again, these are aspects of us being married for so long that it's like, hey, I just know the little things that I know you like.
And your little things are going to be different than our little things. And that's what's the fun of it. It's like figuring out what those little things are and even asking your spouse, like, what is it that I wear or do like that?
Yeah.
And this should be not a critical thing. This should be a fun thing. So you have to go into it in a safe place with each other where you're like in a good spot where you can be comfortable to say things like that and to receive it. Again, that takes a confidence on our side, on our individually, to be able to take things. Like if Dino were to say, hey, like, I loved it when your hair was like super, super long.
Yeah.
Would you try growing it out again? Then I'll be like, yeah, but no, because it doesn't look as good long. No, but yes, like I want to hear the things. Who am I trying to impress? The only person that I'm trying to impress is you. That's it.
I mean,
and I think women dress a lot for other women. And I think that, well, I mean, you can also dress for other men too. Not good. But our intentions should be for our spouses and who we're trying to impress and what we're trying to do.
For a while here, I may or may not have kind of gone a little lackadaisical on just the things that were important to you. But I always kind of snap back. I'm like, hey, there's other areas other than just dressing. I think that it also even translates over into the little things that I know are important to you around the house. I know that when you come in the house, you like to have just things generally tidied up. It's something small like that. And I want to impress you. I want to make it so, hey, when Ash comes home, this is an area that she feels comfortable in and feels happy about. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be like your aesthetics and things like that. It's an overall mentality of what things can I be doing to just kind of give her something or like impress her or make her feel special.
This has zero to do with like money at all or buying flowers or things like that. These are simple things that all of us can do. It could be like you just said, a task around the house or a little thing like maybe your spouse like loves when they get out of bed having their slippers right by the foot of their bed. Like being intentional about making sure the slippers are there or, making sure if they like to sleep in till a certain time, like that the kids are quiet in the morning so that they can sleep in for an extra 30 minutes. Yeah. Just certain things that you're like giving your spouse like a free gift. It costs nothing, but it means so much. And it starts to just develop this depth of intimacy. Yeah.
I like to think of it from the perspective of you're still my girlfriend. When you and I first started dating, I really tried hard to impress you. Yeah. I did a lot of things that were
alone.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure I looked really nice. I wanted to be presentable to you. I wanted to smell good. I wanted to be well manicured and taken care of. I wanted to make sure that when I came to you and saw you, that it was in a way that made you feel like you wanted to be with me. And that should never be forgotten.
I know.
You shouldn't get to such a comfortable state in your marriage where you're like, hey, I don't really care about doing things for you anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
And think about it. How lame is it that you would do those types of things when you're trying to catch them, but then once you got them, you're not actually doing anything anymore. It's like, no, you have the capability of tuning yourself to understand what your spouse wants and needs. You did do that to impress them when you were early on. why would you ever stop?
Yeah.
You should continue doing it. And if anything, get better and better at it. But I should get better at it, and I should learn you better so that I know the things you like more, so that I can continue to do those things, cultivate that. And again, this is just another aspect of intentional marriage. You know, that's what you and I use that type of terminology a bunch during the podcast, but it's this mindset of, hey, what are the different things that I should be kind of doing and I'm not? And how can I go about just starting to build up these personal disciplines in myself to engage my spouse in a way that makes it so that we can be better?
Yeah. I'm going to take this even just a level deeper, like to the intimate side and the playful side here. Listen, again, the only person I'm trying to impress is Dino. We've been married for 18 years, and there's no reason that we should not be having fun together within our marriage. If not us, then who? You know, like if not within our marriages, then you're going to, that's when things start to get a little bit sketch outside of it. So why not do the things inside of your marriage? Keep it fun and exciting. Like if I'm wearing a dress and, you know, you like a certain type of underwear, or like just like little things that are only for you and your spouse that only you will know about, but you know that it's going to just drive your husband like super crazy, like all about you, into you. Wear the uncomfortable underwear.
I love that you're saying this. I really do, because I think that this is an important aspect of, I mean, the husbands need to be doing the same thing too. Obviously, the husbands need to ensure, and I was just talking about it, men and women are built differently. There are certain things that women really appreciate, and there's certain things in general that guys really appreciate. And I think a lot of times guys will neglect the things that are important to a girl because it's not naturally intuitive to them, and vice versa. The girls will not put energy into something because it's not naturally intuitive. But I'm glad you're bringing it up, because I do think that women need to just generally be aware that, hey, you should continue to do things to and with your husband.
If these thoughts are happening because this is the way that men are built, I want my husband's thoughts to be about what's happening with my body and my under my dress. And, you know, like I want it to be all about me. Yeah. So what's happening? I don't know. It's a surprise. You never know. Like, let's play a cat and mouse game.
Yeah. In the same way, like guys should have the only outlet be their spouse. So,
but wives can come alongside and help them with that. We can be a tool, like a helpful tool with that.
But that's even the best part of it. That's the design.
Yeah.
God set it up so that in the context of a marriage, the man should have one and only one outlet, and that is their wife. And the woman should be there also to help take care of their husband, and not just like be a tool or a
tool. Was a bad word.
Yeah, not to be a tool or to service, but to come alongside and be able to, because there's needs that you have, there's needs that I have. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one who can service aspects of the needs that you have, and vice versa. So we should lean into those things, because if we're not doing it for each other, then to your point, that's when the outside of the marriage type stuff starts to potentially
the outside tries to get in.
Yeah. And safeguard your marriage. Mm-hmm. Do the things that you know are going to be important to your spouse to ensure that they're not in a weakened state, right? I don't want to have... It's
not enough to just be like, well, you don't look at that. That's wrong. You can't do that. Like, this is a no. But then also within your marriage, you're like, no. Like, that's not helpful.
No, I completely agree. Men need an outlet. There has to be something that like I have to have you and only you as my outlet. That is my goal. That is the way that I think. And that's the way I've found so much freedom in my sexuality, because I don't have to be like condemned and worried about this. I can fully unleash, and it's all on you kind of thing, you know? Yeah. And it's nice to know then that my wife accepts me and wants me and is thinking about me and is dressing for me. It makes me just feel, women, I really want you to hear this, because it makes your man really feel like a man. When you're
respected.
Yes. When your wife is doing things to pursue you, you just feel like such a beast.
Yeah. You could do anything.
Yes. I could dominate knowing my wife wants to be attractive for me. Like, so I think that there's another aspect to this, that because there's a carrot here that I want both husbands and wives to really understand, is that when you're fulfilling your spouse, you're taking a load off of them because it's a burden. There's aspects of it that are a burden. And then in addition to that, you're creating an opportunity for the two of you to be stronger. I can do things for you to make it so that you and I as husband and wife are stronger, and you can go about your day in a way where you're more of a beast and you're ready to go tackle the other things in life. And then when you're done doing those, you want to come back to me knowing that you love me and that you are physically into me and that you are attracted to me and you look the way that you do, and aspects of that are because you want to impress me. Man, I just want to go dominate things and then get back to you so that you and I can be together again. You know, like it all just starts to feed into itself as you get further and further down this marriage path, you know? And I'm getting excited about it now because I feel like aspects of what you and I have talked about are starting to come to a culmination, to a point where it's like, can you now see? Can you see what actually is potentially here? Because I feel like we've started to scaffold this thing out where if people are doing certain things, they're going to really start to see these benefits. So sorry, I got a little heated there.
No, I loved how excited you got about that, because I feel like it's something to be passionate about, and we should have that within our marriage on both sides. Is there something specific, like, because we kind of focus like on the women there, like, is there something that you see on the men's side too that would be a beneficial to kind of get that ball rolling?
Yeah, on the guy's side, I've talked about this before as well, but it's not 2 minutes before the end of the evening. It's you start to impress your wife when you wake up in the morning. I'm intentional about trying to cultivate your and my relationship and the bond that we have and the closeness, and reduce any kind of barriers early in the morning with you. So I'll wake up and just try and start to find that I hunt for the areas in a day that I know that are important to you. Getting your coffee, having your, like, I take care of your pills and things like that. So I make sure that all of that, I know it's so ridiculous.
My little old lady.
I know, but like, yeah, I make sure that all of those things are dialed and ready to go for you. I make sure that you can basically get up, have your shake, get out to the gym with me and that kind of thing. You know, like, I've known in the past that you really like to eat. And I've then started to build in myself a desire to be a good cook. You know, so it's in the same way that you'll wear things that I like because it's something that you know is, hey, if this is how his girlfriend, you know, I want to be his girlfriend kind of thing. And this is how, you know, that type of mentality. Well, if I was your boyfriend trying to still impress you, you'd come in the door and I'd have a really nice meal ready to go for you because that's something that's really important to you, you know? I mean, there's other areas too that are equivalently I know, get you like really excited. And lately, especially, it's really when I lead spiritually. So if I'm being the spiritual leader in the family and in the household, and you and I are spending more time intentionally together, spiritually growing together, I know those are areas that are, and you and I change too, right? So what you want from me is going to be day to day, week to week, slightly differently. Like are different. The things that are going to impress you are going to kind of mold and shift and change. And I want to find what those things are. Sometimes it requires me going and buying something small from you because that gift meant something to you. Who knows why, but that was the thing that meant something to you. It doesn't have to be expensive, but if it's something's just, hey, I'm thinking about you. And sometimes it's like, hey, I know you're working all day long and you just need help. I'm going to drop everything I'm doing. I'm going to come alongside you. I'm going to come and sand something at the Mercantile or at the inn or something like that, you know? But those, most of the time, there is no consistent thing for you, you know, that you're
always changing it up.
You gotta keep me guessing. And
that's a gift for you. You like it.
It's a gift.
It's spicy. I think the whole point of this specific podcast, though, what we wanted to talk about was more on the like physical side of things. That was kind of the intention of it. And then we kind of went into, it does overflow, like it is about anything. I think that going back to the physical side of things on both sides, just trying to find those things that like impress your spouse. But I wanted to mention also that doesn't mean that to dress a certain way, which you actually really don't. Like, there's just, you like certain things on me, but it's not like you have like
attributes. I'm not necessarily into the specifics of only checkered or only this or that, but I'm like, hey.
But the thing is that I think that what it comes down to is that you love me and you love my body, and you just like, it just is this deep love. So in the end, it really doesn't matter it's not like I have to impress Dino. We don't want to get to the point where we have to be all done up for our spouses and like this robotic thing. Because we want to be at our ugliest and our our rawest form too, and love each other just as much, if not more, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, like in those really raw, vulnerable moments, to be able to love each other and not feel like we have to be done up all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just about a heart posture and intention to work towards those things, do the things that try to do the things that I know that you love. So it's like a little coins into our dating bank.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's like.
Exactly. That's such a good way of putting it. You're investing these little slight investments to try and accrue up something,
Yeah.
And instead of the alternative, which is constantly withdrawing, you can easily just withdraw from your spouse all the time.
So one of the things that I know that Dino loves is like really bright nail polish. So every once in a while, I will do super, super bright nail polish. But right now I don't have like really bright on, and he still likes my nails, and you're like, I really don't care. But when I do it, then it's like, oh, you did that for me.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing. Like when you come back and you have your nails real bright, it's like, man, that girl's thinking about me.
Yeah, that I did it specifically for him, because I would never pick it. But then I feel like so fun too, because I know like literally just this is like getting him so excited. Like he loves when they're really bright.
It's the little things.
It's so stupid, but it's so little. That's what I'm saying. It's such a tiny thing, but it means so much. It's just this little, like it's a penny or two, a nickel into your dating bank.
Yeah, I think that it's really comes down to the mentality, as you and I are kind of talking about it and unpacking it, because you can have this mentality of like, oh, well, I have to do what John needs me to do. Like you could easily do things out of fear or out of obligation or there's a lot of different reasoning. But the goal here is to be like, hey, I just love my spouse.
And out of love.
Yeah, I love them. And I want to do things for them because I know that they'll love this.
Yeah. Yes, I'm glad you said that. Not out of fear or pressure, but out of love
or guilt.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many different ways that this specific topic that we're talking about can be manipulated, but we are specifically calling out love. If you're in a healthy relationship with someone, your intent is to try and continue to cultivate that relationship. It's a matter of saying, hey, what are the little things that I can be doing to impress this person? And I want to do this because I love them. Not because I want to manipulate them or want to get something or,
Yeah. I'm sure as you're listening to this, thinking about like little things. I mean, I'm kind of, they're popping up in my head too, just
do it.
To think, I know.
Do it.
Just to thinking of the little examples. And I'm sure those things are running through your head right now. I'm sure we all know specific things that our spouses love. And then there's, I'm sure, a lot of things that we don't know that maybe haven't been communicated yet. And that's like a really fun thing to, while you're in the bath together or having a coffee date or on a walk or in bed or in the car, whatever, having like a little fun conversation with your spouse to be like, what are some things that I could like impress you with?
Yeah, that is such a great question. Even having that level of communication with your spouse to be able to say, hey, what are the areas what would impress you? What do you like?
Yeah.
I've talked to a couple of guys that never even asked their wives that. I'm working with a guy right now trying to coach him and push him because he's saying, oh, I have some stuff going on in my marriage. And I'm like, hey, what is your wife like? I don't know. Well, all right, let's unpack that. Number one, is there any observation that maybe you can just open your eyes and like look, or maybe they've been asking you over and over and over for certain things, because that's most likely what's exactly gone on. But beyond that, ask, hey, what is it that you like? What is the most important thing to you right now from me that I can just do for you or with you or whatever to make it so that you're just, what can I be doing to make it so that being more engaged with one another, or you feel you're more in love with me or more desired by me, or it just makes you feel special, you know?
Yeah. And just, watch for those little cues and the little things that you kind of are hearing or seeing, and then take the initiative. This should be fun. This should take us a level deeper in our marriage.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you all the things, okay? I'll tell you all the things I like.
We'll write a list. We'll write it on a whiteboard.
No, I could talk a lot more about aspects of this. It's funny, my head goes to a lot of like examples and stuff, but to your previous point, it becomes personal in that it doesn't matter what the
I know my
specific
head's
things
going
are.
through all these examples.
But that's the
and
beauty
things.
of it is that.
But that's it. It's
you
like
gave
making me
examples-
smile and like
I know.
it's fun because I'm thinking of all the things. It's like, oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh yeah, do.
Yeah, like I love the other night. You and I are out to dinner with a whole bunch of people, and Ash just puts her hand behind the back of my head. You're talking to someone else, and I'm over here talking to someone else, and you just had your hand on the back of my head. Man, that drove me crazy because my wife was thinking about me and said, "Hey, I want to show you affection." Even in the middle of socializing with friends and things like that, like right now you're on my mind.
Yeah.
And that is the message that we're trying to encourage people to say to their spouses. Like, spend time trying to understand the things that your spouse is going to feel like you said, hey, I've been thinking about you.
Yeah.
You know, and I love you.
I love it. This is a fun challenge, and not even a challenge, but this is a fun thing to incorporate in our marriage, and is just going to like cause a deeper connection. And take that intentionality and run with it. Go have fun with it with your spouse.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same.
Yeah. That's your challenge for the week. Go do it. You'll enjoy it.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.